The tension in the room was as tangible as the grease on the technician's hands. Time ticked by, every second pulling them closer to the dreaded 43-minute mark. Then Kate broke the silence. "Can I get the maintenance logs for the last month?" Dr. Harrison, his face etched with professional concern, quickly pulled up the data. "What are you looking for?" Kate's eyes scanned the pages, focusing on engine startups. "See that gap between 37 and 43 minutes? I want to know why." Dr. Harrison followed her gaze, understanding dawning on his face. "Ah, right. Those are the auto shutdowns we programmed after the incident. Safety feature kicks in after 43 minutes to prevent overheating or damage." Kate nodded, eyes still glued to the screen. "I need to adjust the safety parameters. We can't risk the engine shutting down mid-flight." Understanding flickered across Dr. Harrison's face. Then a slow smile spread. "You're thinking the same thing I am. You want to test the engine past 43 minutes. Test its limits." Kate looked up, meeting his gaze. "Exactly." But Marcus wasn't sharing their excitement. "Are you sure that's safe?" he demanded, worry creasing his forehead. "What if there's a malfunction?" "I'll personally monitor the diagnostics," Dr. Harrison assured him. "If anything goes wrong, we'll cut power immediately." Marcus hesitated, then nodded curtly. Kate wasted no time. She directed Dr. Harrison to switch the engine to manual mode, disabling the automatic shutdown. "I'm ready when you are," she said, eyes locked on the display. As Dr. Harrison hit the start button, a hush fell over the room. This was uncharted territory. No one expected the engine to run beyond its 43-minute limit, yet it did. Every eye in the room was glued to the display. Time ticked by. 43 minutes passed, then 44.45, 46. All the while, the engine purred, its deep hum resonating confidence. The tension in the room eased, replaced by a collective awe. They kept watching until the engine reached 52 minutes, then 53. The record was broken. Applause erupted, echoing in the vast space. Marcus Wellington, his face split into a wide grin, rushed to Kate's side. "Congratulations," he boomed, extending a hand. "You've just rewritten the rulebook on hybrid engines." Kate met his gaze, a slow smile spreading across her face. "It was a team effort," she replied, accepting his handshake. "Everyone here put their best foot forward." "Nonsense," Marcus countered, his grin widening. "You were brilliant. Everyone saw that. Even the board will be impressed. I told them I was confident about Wellington Aerospace, but your insight was something else. A real game changer." The applause grew louder. Kate basked in the moment, the weight of her achievement settling in. This was her proving ground, and she had conquered it. The celebration lasted long into the afternoon, spilling out of the workshop and into the sterile halls of the executive suite. By the end, the only trace of doubt left on Marcus's face was a faint line etched between his brows. Kate caught his eye across the room, and he gestured subtly with his chin. She understood. He wanted to talk business. She excused herself from the congratulating crowd and followed him into his office. It was a world away from the grease-stained floor and echoing cheers of the workshop. Here, the air was thick with expensive cologne and polished ambition. Marcus settled into his chair behind the massive mahogany desk, steepling his fingers. Kate stood opposite him, hands resting on the desk, her grey sweatshirt suddenly feeling out of place in this sea of wealth. "You saved us today," Marcus began, his voice serious. The board was getting impatient. If this engine didn't deliver, they'd pull funding. Wellington Aerospace would be dead in the water. No more advanced contracts, no more hybrid tech, no more future. He met her gaze, his expression intense. "Do you understand what you've done?" Kate did. She'd walked into a boardroom of million-dollar egos and rewritten their future with a wrench. "So let's get practical," she said. "What's next?" But Marcus didn't answer right away. He stared at the cityscape beyond his window, his silhouette etched against the fading sunlight. "You mentioned the board," she prompted. "When do they find out?" He turned back, his expression thoughtful. "They know you solved the problem. But details, contracts, financials, that's another level, not their style." He paused. "I'll brief them tomorrow. Give them all the credit. Say we worked on it together." Kate understood what he was doing. He was protecting her, shielding her from the sharks that circled in the boardroom. But she wasn't afraid. "Why wait until tomorrow? I'll brief them myself." Marcus stared at her, surprised. "You?" She nodded. "I fixed their engine. Let me show them how." A ghost of a smile touched Marcus's lips. Show them, indeed. He rose, extending a hand. Deal. But don't forget, you're here to make a name for yourself, not disappear into a committee. She grasped his hand firmly. I won't. As Kate entered the boardroom the next morning, she knew she was about to face a new set of challenges. These men and women weren't used to hearing we when they expected I. They measured success in quarterly reports, profit margins, and projected earnings, so she had to speak their language, prove her value in terms they understood. She took a deep breath, straightened her posture, and stepped forward. Her grey sweatshirt suddenly a badge of courage, a symbol of brilliance that no boardroom could ignore. This was her moment. She would rewrite the rules of the game, not with a wrench, but with words. Her presentation was a masterclass in blending technical depth with business acumen. She spoke about the engine in detail, yes, but she also spoke about the value of a different kind of expertise. She talked about the competitive edge they had because of her insights. She outlined how her approach could save them millions in redesign costs and wasted resources. At first, there were murmurs, some skepticism, but as she continued, their expressions shifted from confusion to interest to intrigue. By the time she finished, the room was silent, but not in disbelief. It was the silence of people digesting information, processing implications. So, one of the board members finally said, breaking the quiet, "You're telling us we should have a crack team dedicated to outside expertise." "Exactly," Kate replied, meeting his gaze. "A crack team," another board member echoed, a smile tugging at the corners of his lips. "Brilliant," someone else added, and the word echoed around the room. Kate had rewritten the rules of the game. She had shown them that brilliance came in all forms, and sometimes it wore a grey sweatshirt. As the meeting stretched on, Kate found herself negotiating, advising, collaborating. The board members peppered her with questions, but they weren't trying to trip her up. They genuinely wanted to know more, learn from her perspective. It was clear that her value was no longer in question. In the weeks that followed, Kate Williams became a fixture at Wellington Aerospace. Her presence sparked a cultural shift. Board meetings now included engineers. Design reviews featured input from outside experts. The walls of the conference rooms were no longer adorned with photos of fighter jets, but with diagrams of engine prototypes. Outside experts had become inside partners, and Kate was at the center of it all. One evening, as Kate was leaving the building, she felt a tap on her shoulder. Turning around, she found Marcus Wellington smiling at her. "You changed this place," he said, gesturing to the bustling activity around them. "It's not just the engine. It's how we think, how we work." Kate smiled back, feeling the warmth of her accomplishment. "I didn't do it alone," she reminded him. "This company had brilliant minds waiting for a chance to shine. I just helped them see a different path." Marcus nodded, his gaze sweeping across the yard. "True," he conceded. "But without your wrench, we wouldn't have taken that path. So thank you, Kate Williams. You've earned your place here." And with that, he walked away, leaving Kate standing beneath the glow of the setting sun.